Mr. President, this bill pertains to the very important issue of renewal of the FRA in our Missouri Health Net program, Medicaid. It will do two things. One, extend that very important FRA tax by 1 year. And secondly, it will protect Missouri taxpayers from being forced to have their dollars used to fund abortions or abortion providers. We've heard it asked in this chamber and in committee yesterday, why now? Why now? We've always passed a so-called clean FRA. And it's really very simple, right? Why now? There are three reasons. Number one, the bipartisan consensus reached in 1976 between Republicans and Democrats, pro-choicers and pro-lifers at the federal level, embodied in the Hyde Amendment, is a thing of the past. President Joe Biden's 2022 budget no longer includes the Hyde Amendment. And if anyone in this body thinks that Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi support the Hyde Amendment, they are quite delusional. So that's number one. Number two, we have year after year, Missouri has had pro-life protections of Missouri taxpayers against being forced to fund abortion or abortion providers in our budget. Many, almost all of the members of this body have voted for budgets that contain those pro-life protections, including in 2020, all but 2 Democrats. And yet, in a radical activist decision last June, in the case of Planned Parenthood versus Department of Social Services, the black-robed tyrants on High Street decided that they would protect the spigot of money flowing to Planned Parenthood. That's number two. Oh, they said, by the way, they gave us a roadmap, though. They told us we could not protect taxpayers in the budget, but that we could protect them in statute. And the FRA opens up exactly the statutes that need to be amended. And therefore, an amendment or a new bill on that subject is entirely appropriate. They go together. And of course, number three, the ongoing debate on Medicaid expansion. Judge Beadham this week got it right in the Cole County Circuit Court. He got right that he correctly applied Article 1, Section 29 of the Missouri Constitution that said, in essence, that a ballot initiative cannot appropriate money unless it specifies a funding source. So if the Medicaid expanders, the out-of-state dark money interests that came to Missouri and expanded our Medicaid program, purportedly, if they wanted to expand Medicaid by ballot initiative, they could have done so. They could have included a sales tax, an income tax increase, or any number of new taxes, but they didn't do that. It'd sort of be like passing a ballot initiative that said everyone in Missouri is going to get $100,000. Okay, legislature appropriated, find the money. It's ridiculous. So that is why we are here today. We're here today because the Medicaid statutes that embody the FRA have to do with providers, they have to do with funding. They are exactly the statutes that need to be amended to protect taxpayers from being forced to fund abortion or abortion providers in our state. Now, a lot has been said. A number of folks have objected to what I'm proposing to do today. And they talk about, well, we're going to lose all our money. We're going to lose all our Medicaid money if we pass your amendment, Senator. Nonsense. 23 states have attempted to defund Planned Parenthood. 7 have attempted to defund Planned Parenthood in all 3 major revenue streams of Planned Parenthood: Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Mississippi, Indiana, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And then, of course, we talk a lot about Texas and Arkansas. But of those 23 states, including Missouri, when we were passing pro-life language last year and the year before and the year before, none of those states have lost a single penny of federal money. It's merely fear-mongering. And let's get some other examples. We know that many states and many cities have decided to declare themselves sanctuary cities or sanctuary states. The Trump administration tried to defund those. Have they lost a single penny of federal money? No. We also know that we just passed the Second Amendment Protection Act, signed by the governor. I commend the governor for doing that. We were willing to stand up to the federal government there. And a few years ago, the voters of the state of Missouri passed a referendum, an initiative, legalizing medical marijuana. The governor has started a new department, a bureaucratic mechanism to regulate and enable legalization of medical marijuana in the state of Missouri, while marijuana remains a Class 1 controlled substance at the federal level. So, in many areas, it seems, we in the Missouri legislature, we, the elected representatives of the people, are willing to stand up against the overweening, the power-hungry bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. But we are told on this issue of protecting innocent human life, on protecting Missouri taxpayers from being forced to fund abortion providers or abortion facilities or their affiliates, on that issue, we should bend the knee, we should kowtow to the federal government. Mr. President, I say no. I say the question is not whether we can do it, but whether we have the political will and the moral courage to do so. Thank you, Mr. President.